Hello everyone and welcome to our video on the full moon in Pisces. I'm Emmeline Muldoon and I'm here today again with Jim Dedicoli. Hi Jim.
Hi, good to see you.
Good to see you. So for those of you that are new to our channels, we get together for the new moons, the lunations, the full new moons every month, and we talk about the energy of those moons, how to work with them, and also the astrology that's going on at the moment around the time of the moons. So we're jumping right in. It's the moon, it's the full moon in Pisces today. We're filming this on Wednesday, the 30th of August. Now, the full moon is exact tonight, Eastern Standard Time at 9:35 p.m. And it's a super moon. So if it's not stormy and cloudy, let's hope that we might be able to see this moon pretty well. I'm going to share the screen with you for those of you who want to follow along, and you can see the chart for this full moon. And like I said, this is the East Coast time zone set for Charlotte, so you can see. Don't look at the house placements so much because they'll change depending on which part of the world you're in, but the aspects that the planets make will not change. They'll be the same regardless. And there's a lot going on. So this full moon happens at 7 degrees of Pisces. So I'd ask you all, look at your charts where 7 degrees of Pisces, that's where this release, this overload, this is, this is a Pisces full moon. We're thinking double of release, emotional overwhelm, so that's definitely come up in a big way here. So where is that happening? Look in your chart where 7 degrees of Pisces. That will really give you some idea of where you're feeling that release.
Yes, and I always want to remind the Pisces energy is water ruled, and it's ruler of the 12th house. So a lot of karmic, good and bad, potential here. So if you find yourself like, and you always bring this up, and you always remind me of like music taking you back to another time, right? Or you find a dream, or you find yourself daydreaming, or somebody from your past gets back in touch. All this is going on for you to hopefully decipher on what you need or don't need in the present moment, then move forward, because Pisces is about cleaning up all of your past and to get this thing moving forward. So so it's cleaning up your past, maybe bringing something from the past back that's going to be beneficial. So don't miss that wherever Pisces at 7 degrees falls for you, as Saturn's there as well, and they both like to deal with yesterday restrictions or potential pitfalls that you may have been trapped in past lives.
Yeah, this full moon, to me, it really, if you're going to summarize this chart, it's really it's saying if there's an emotional part of your life that you haven't been dealing with, that you've been ignoring, this is the sort of day where you can't turn your back on it. It's like you can't ignore it anymore. Whatever emotions have been bubbling away for you, have been stirred up, this is the day where they're going to release, and it's definitely that feeling of letting it go, like when you've been holding in the tears and then suddenly they start flooding. And you might have been consciously trying, Saturn there conjunct the moon, that's discipline of emotions, trying to be responsible, trying to be practical with them. But because that full moon is there sort of poking it, it's like, trying to hold it in, but yeah, there might be this I keep saying release, but it's the best word for this Pisces full moon. And I'm really thinking about the children today, because children are very sensitive. Pisces energy is very sensitive. So if you have children, if you're a teacher, you might be seeing that the children are very sensitive, and a lot of children have started school this week, starting kindergarten. So it's a big deal. Like, sit with your children and give them that time, because I think with this energy, it could be like the Saturn moon, just it's fine, get on with it, brush it off, you know, but actually you're not going to be able to just brush it off. You need, this is going deep into your emotions and working them out and sitting with them for this moon.
Yeah, and you're merging the physical and the non-physical. Saturn, Pisces, Moon in Pisces. So you're dealing with all of your past, which you can't touch from a physical perspective outside of this life, and then the past of this life with Saturn. So yeah, I mean, this is a tremendous time to awaken that soul, that who you've always been and what you've always known, and then start marrying it up with the moment. And then, like you and I were talking, we're doing things to try to move forward, and get out of the past. So I think this is a huge time to get out of your past, get in the present, and then get to that potential that I think is, tremendous for us all, even though it doesn't look like it.
Yeah, because this Saturn moon, this can feel there can feel loneliness or depression or
Yes.
just a
Yeah.
sadness energy. Definitely a sort of sad, but melancholy is definitely one as well. But what you are feeling is genuine. These are real feelings, and so pay attention to what you're feeling because it's real. So you're connected. You're able to easily connect with your emotions at this time, which is nice.
Great point.
And it also makes us want to be responsible as well. My son started kindergarten this week, and that's one of the words the teacher has for the classroom. He's responsible, mummy. Do you know what that means? And we were talking about it, and I just think that's a good one for this moon as well. Being responsible with your emotions, being responsible with how you treat others as well, maybe, because there is the opposition here with the moon and the sun, full moon, and the sun is out over there shining a light on that Saturn. So other people maybe asking you to take some responsibility, or you asking others to take some responsibility emotionally.
Yeah, I would, if I could define this in a sentence, own where you are, own who you are, own what you are, own that, look at it all, even if it's flawed, own it, find out where you are and get that center space, and then let's go get in the middle. So
yeah. The other thing about the sun making that opposition to Saturn there, which is what it's doing here in the chart, is that is that's low energy as well. When the sun is so far away from Saturn, it can make us feel tired as well. So if you are just wanting to lose yourself in a daydream, I think that Pisces moon does that anyway. It needs to detach sometimes. Detach because if you have a Pisces moon, you probably know what I'm talking about, but sometimes it's just too much. The emotions are too much, and you need to sit somewhere in a quiet space. Sometimes, I speak to clients, having a bath, having a shower, escaping, being around water is a great way to reset and shut off. So you might be feeling that you need to be doing that as well during this full moon period.
Yes. Yeah, get away, isolate to a degree if you have to. It's okay.
Yeah, definitely a sense of, I feel there just does feel like an isolation energy, this chart. Feels like you're sort of going within a bit, going within to feel better. And the other thing about Pisces as well, that's really big, is dreams. This week, really pay attention to what your dreams are saying, because you can get a lot of messages and information easily with this Pisces energy.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah. So yeah, Saturn's a big player here. He's a big player. The other thing we've got going on is Neptune is making an opposition to Mars, and Mars is quite grouchy over here in Libra. He's not particularly happy there. He wants to push on and be aggressive and get things done and take action. And Libra is saying, no, let's talk about it. Let's not argue. So you see that Mars is kind of conflicted at the moment. He's sort of saying, how do I work around this? And sometimes we can get a bit of passive aggressive energy around that Mars. And with him being or making an opposition to Neptune during this chart, it might be misunderstandings with other people that then lead you to be a little bit maybe passive aggressive, or someone's doing that to you. It might be that you are a little bit confused about the direction you want to take, and maybe a bit frustrated. But again, Neptune, Pisces, really good for taking action, to meditate and go within. So that's sort of why I said earlier about, you know, an isolation energy with this moon is good.
Yes. Or maybe necessary. You might not like it, but don't fight it, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm also, you know, I've been talking about this for a while, but we're at the heart of the truth, right? With the oppositions, right? Mercury's opposing the moon, and it's opposing Neptune. So maybe how you thought you saw things, maybe how things appeared and how they are, you're probably seeing that they're not the same. And I'm really looking at this Uranus trine Mercury and Pluto trine Mars, and helping us, and also Jupiter, Sun, and Mercury are trine. So you know, as you look at all this, be careful with just how you saw things. Don't be so stubborn. We've been talking about your past. You're dealing. Get out of the past. Get out of like being stubborn, and just start looking at things and finding the truth. And when you find the truth, make sure you find the lies, because you're going to have to deal with both, because you got to a certain understanding through lies. You got through them through maybe truths that you thought were there, and maybe both. So the awakening's happening. And you know, my new mantra is kind of, if it's so if the scenario is such that it makes no sense, it's by design. Somebody by design created it. So when you see things and logic, common sense, and like being reasonable aren't involved, then somebody's doing it, or it's being done on purpose. Is it you? Is it somebody else? I don't know. You might want to start paying attention. Quit being a victim, in other words.
Yeah. The other big thing about this chart is, you know, Uranus just stationed yesterday. So he's a big player in his full moon. When Uranus stations, it's like a buzz of electricity. It's sort of that noise, the tinnitus in your ears that you can't ignore. So it might feel that there is a stirring up here. You know, it's definitely, like I said, with the Pisces and the Saturn and the Mars, this is really stirring us up. You know, you think about Uranus, it's able to do that. It's able to stir up emotions and make you think. So it's hanging out there loosely with Jupiter, which is making it bigger. But it's unsettling. But it's, you know, like you always say, Jim, you know, Uranus is unsettling you for a good reason. It's trying to stir you up to help. So you can think about how is maybe you feeling unsettled? How is that stirring you up? What is it trying to motivate you to change? Because that's really what that Uranus is buzzing away there, trying to help. And, you know, people that have stationed Uranus is in their chart, you know, if you're born on that day, you're that person for a lot of people. You're that person that helps change and stimulate, and that's what this Uranus is doing in this chart.
And I want to I looked this up the other day, and I just confirmed it, that we are all, from now until the middle of 2030, Uranus and Pluto are going to be riding trine with each other in the sky.
Oh.
And it's about us finding the truth, us through chaos finding order, right? You be the manager of that. You be in charge of that, please. And that's by you changing. If not, somebody else is going to do it for you. And I can tell you right now, you will be pissed off. The promise of Uranus, you and I talk about this, and we talked about it for years. It leaves you better than you're found. Where you're going to be by mid-2030 from where you are today is going to be light years from where you are now. So gather this momentum from these two planets riding trine. That means they're working pretty much same elements for the next 7, 8, 9 years. And they're going to really want to help you change. And this is at the cellular level. So we need you to grab this, own it, and know that when chaos is at its finest, right next to that will be the Great Awakening, and then where you find and make sense and figure things out. So hang on to that, and man, it's going to be a wild ride, and we're going to be left better than we're found. So know that.
Yeah, and Pluto also has that effect as well of making a change, making it hard. The more you
Yep.
resist the change, the harder it can be. But by the time you get to the end of it, you get a gift. You get the good from the change. So both
Great.
of them are working together there in a nice, constructive way.
That's a great point about Pluto is I always tell people, you grab into a pond and grab the water as hard as you can or scoop it. Which one are you going to get more water if you need water? You got to be gentle and you got to let go with Pluto. So the more you try to control Pluto, the more it's going to get taken, as you just said. So I forgot that point, and that's a beautiful point because Pluto will take everything from you and leave you with nothing if you keep fighting it. So you might want to learn to surrender a bit.
Mm. Yeah, I often see that people that I know that have Pluto Sun in their charts conjunct working together, the energy is going to keep changing you unless you learn to help change others with
Yes, yes,
that. So I find that you can have a good, that's like, it's almost a good, I call it a life coach energy, because if you can help bring it out for others, it's going to stop transforming you.
great point. Great point. Yeah, sometimes you're not the first one to see that. Maybe it's you help others and then you see it through that. So great point.
Yeah.
So,
And there's also karma with Pluto. Let's not forget
oh yeah,
we use our change for good,
yeah,
and then it helps us all. Yeah, right.
yeah. None of us are innocent. So let's start with that, right? We're all working on something. So this moon's going to be tremendous for that.
Yeah, yeah. It's definitely an electrifying energy, this moon. So see how I think we're going to be tired, we're going to be emotional. That's why I'm thinking about the kids and the school teachers this week as well, working with your
Yeah.
children, giving them that time. When someone's tired and emotional, what do you need? You need to shut off, relax, and you need someone that's there for you. Um,
Yes.
so that's kind of the things that we're going to be needing this week.
And the one odd thing about this moon, Emmeline, is that there's only one square, and it's with the two planets that we all want to be on our side, Venus and Jupiter.
Yeah.
They want to bring us gifts. They want to make things sensual. They want to make them easy. They want to bring us abundance. And by God, they're the two of those are squaring right now. And that's the only damn ones really that are square planetary wise. And so when I look at that, it's don't lose the fact that maybe these are squaring, that you might be losing something. Don't worry about that. Everything's in order. Just let this square work through this square and work through really your past, work through where you really are, find that place, and then let this square just help you do some work through all that we've talked about, whether it's through a dream, meditation, others, studying, maybe just finding yourself to a deeper level. Let this square do the work here, and don't fight and get aggravated, because neither one of these planets really like aggravation, but you can make that be there. So just careful with that square.
Yeah, and the other thing about it is, Venus is still retrograde, but it's coming to the end of its retrograde and it's not going to move now. It's at 12 degrees of Leo. So it's going to station in 12 degrees of Leo in a couple of days. So this Venus is very prominent with this square as well. And because it is moving retrograde, it is sort of saying we are figuring out here, we've been doing this for nearly 40 days now, but really figuring out what we love and
Yep.
what we want. And, maybe we're figuring out our finances as well, because Venus also rules money. So it's, we've been trying to reassess and revalue love, relationships, and money during these, last few weeks. And with this square, it's sort of, you want to make it happen. You have to think about what you really want. And where is 12 degrees of Leo in your chart? Because we were talking about this before we started the video. 12 degrees of Leo in your chart, go and have a look. That's going to really show you what you've been figuring out, what you want to change, what you want that to be like going forward. So it's really nice to know when you're looking at retrograde energy, oh, that's the degree it's stationing on. That's an important part for me, So
Yes.
have a look at that as well. And there's 6 retrograde planets in this full moon chart, and there is one stationing and no, retrograde Chiron as well. So 6 planets and Chiron all retrograde. This is a time to go within. This is a time to reflect. This is a time for, thinking about where we're going. Mars isn't pushing along with great steam because he's a little bit antsy. And the rest of the planets are saying, let's just think about this. Let's just take a moment. So that's really there in this full moon as well.
And I always I have Saturn and Neptune in first house in my natal chart. And so I always treat, I'm kind of weird with the Neptunian energy. It comes out of nowhere with me, and it comes out, and it could be a dream, or it could be a daydream, or it could be just an emotion that just comes across me, right? So I always look for that. And I know that because I have Saturn there, it's a lesson time, maybe not a bad lesson, but a lesson. So know that we're all dealing with that now, and don't miss that. Whatever form it comes in, it's probably going to be non-physical, could be physical, but if it comes from non-physical, don't miss the opportunity to take this and become way more of you in the moment so you can move forward and quit dealing in the past. That's the key here, I think.
Yeah. I think that's all that I had for this chart. You too?
Yeah, no, we covered everything in an odd way. Maybe this will be the way they understand, because we took a different path, but that's good.
Well, we intuitively, the moon's in Pisces now,
yes.
we intuitively dealt with what was coming up with it, and that's what you are doing as well with this full moon energy. So
yeah,
it's a good sort of approach.
Yes. So, and, I don't know if you want to mention the class. I know we'll probably move it from Sunday, but
no, I think we'll keep it. We've had it.
Okay.
We've had 2 people sign up actually, so we'll keep it now. We were debating whether to move it because it's the holiday weekend, but we have a workshop, a class which you can get tickets from. If you you can look on my website big3astrology.com, and you can get a ticket for it's a Zoom event, online event, like a monthly workshop with Jim and I. We get together, we go through the energy for the month ahead, and we can also look at your charts and see, what's coming up, what's building for us. And September is, kind of the calm before the storm, before we get to the eclipses in October as well. So we can go through those energies with you. If you want a ticket, it's $20. It's 6 p.m. Sunday, which is the 3rd of September. Yeah. Sunday Eastern Standard Time, 6 p.m. So if you want to check it out, I'll put a link in my YouTube video as well for the
and we talk about, we go to the individual perspective, so we try to pull everybody's charts, but we also talk about a lot of things we don't even talk about on here. So I think you'd enjoy it. We'd love to see you, and it's just nice to have a good couple-hour conversation and just be open and just take it where it needs to go. So
it's a good class.
Good. Well, Emily, it's good to see you again.
Yeah, you too, Jim.
Thank you. And thank you, everybody. Comment, like, share, if you don't mind, for both of us. We'd appreciate it. So, and enjoy the moon. It's today, so we're in the energy. So
we're in it. Okay. Well, thanks, everyone. Take care.
Yes. Thanks. Bye-bye.
Bye, Jim. Bye.